Ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans around the world, this is All Access MMA.
My next guest is Chris Brown as he gets ready to fight this Friday for LFA when he meets a new opponent, Ignacio Bahamondes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a while since we've spoke. Happy to see you back in the cage. Tell me, this was just announced, this new opponent, just literally maybe earlier today or yesterday. How did you find out? Let everyone know how this all transpired.
Yeah, I didn't find out till last night that the original opponent had pulled out. Another one of my reporter friends messaged me and was like, "Hey, what's going on with your fight?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "It's canceled." I was like, "Canceled?" So I called my manager, and he's like, "Yeah, the guy pulled out, and the LFA was looking for a new one." And so he said he would hit me up today. And then about like 9:30 this morning, I got a text saying that I got a fight. So I was ecstatic.
Did you even, I guess, second guess or question whether you're going to accept, who the opponent is, or are you just going to take the fight regardless?
Regardless. You know me, I don't care. I'd like just put somebody in there for me.
So you were originally supposed to fight Ahmadyar, and now you got Bahamondes. Stylistically, have you had any time to do any research on your new opponent, and how do they differ?
Yeah, I haven't looked him up yet. I know that he's a striker, and the original one was a wrestler. So it is a stylistic change, but I'm not worried about it because that's just my strong suit. If he wants to stand and strike with me, I know his striking's not like mine, but he's in my territory with that one.
So tell me, how has this camp been? Obviously, everyone knows you're down there at Jackson Wink, one of the best gyms in the world, maybe the best pound for pound. If you look at all the killers that are there in every weight class, how has this camp been?
I've had a great camp. Things are different because of the whole COVID situation, so we're not able to train the way we want because of restrictions and everything. But I've had a great camp. I felt amazing this whole time. It's like I don't think I've ever felt this good before a fight. Whenever I fight at 55, I'm cutting like 40 pounds because I walk around at like 190, and that cut to 155 was just killing me. Just the fact that I had to do it repeatedly all the time because I'd get a fight, they cancel, they back out at weigh-ins or whatever it is. So I was just ruining my body for, cutting at least 6 times last year and only got to fight twice. So my body just gave out on me this last one. I never felt that bad before. So we immediately knew what the issue was. So my last fight was in January. I was trying to fight in February at 170, and I couldn't get someone to sign up. And then the whole COVID thing situation started. So I've been training, getting a lot of running in, spending a lot of time with Greg and Wink, helping Holly get ready for her fight. So I've been able to get enough work in and felt confident about where I'm at.
I want to get back to, what the restrictions have been like at Jackson Wink, like you mentioned just a minute ago. But first, talk about this change in weight class down to, or I guess up to 170 now, no more lightweight. What were some of the issues that you felt like you were having, during camp or, even during the fight with that significant weight cut?
Yeah, I was just really drained in those fights, mentally, like real foggy too, because, just the amount of weight that I was cutting and dehydrating myself and all of these other things, basically looking like death when I show up to the fight or to the weigh-ins and everything. Just the last time my body was cramping like crazy. I had never felt that bad before. Like I didn't even make weight the last fight. My body stopped at 58 and wouldn't drop any more weight. They gave me an hour to drop the weight, and my body lost 0.2 in an hour after having a sauna suit and being on a treadmill for an hour. All I could lose was 0.2. My body was just like, enough is enough. So I feel amazing. I feel so much better, a lot healthier, and I won't be compromised in any way at this weight class. And this is where I was fighting originally too. My first fight when I moved out here was at 185 because I was walking around like 200. And then, my last year of college, I was 205. So people don't realize that I'm actually a pretty big guy when cutting all the way down to 55. So 170 is much more natural weight for me.
So this last fight against Carrington Banks, obviously you lost a unanimous decision right there. Is this just because of the weight cut? You just felt drained in that fight, or was there anything else that you can point to that maybe you learned from?
Yeah, it was just the weight cut. Like I was stuck. Like I could see everything that I wanted to do, or just my body just wouldn't react. Like people who know me and have followed me just seen that I wasn't fighting like myself. I had no hips. Like it was just, I was just so drained and caught in my head, and it just was like, it was just a horrible feeling. I took no damage. All he could do was lay on me. Even when he was on top, like I would hold his hands. The ref was telling me he was going to stand us up, like between the rounds. He's like, yeah, I'm going to stand you guys up quicker. And when he would take me down, I would hold his hands to stall him out. And I'd look at the ref because the ref's like, oh, advance. And I'm holding his hand, looking at the ref. And he can't advance because I'm holding him. So I'm looking at the ref, and he's just looking at me crazy. So, I just never want to be able to feel that stuck again. Like I said, my body just completely gave out on me. I'd never felt that way before. Like usually, like once I rehydrated and everything, I come back to life. But after that one, I just never came back, and I was never myself, mentally or physically.
So immediately after that fight, did yourself and your coaches, your team, did you know that was it at lightweight? You were going to go to 170 right after the fight?
As soon as the fight was over, my manager was like, "Yep, we're going to 70. Like we're not about to play this game anymore." Because he's been telling me forever that if I can't make the weight in 2 weeks, I shouldn't be at that weight class, and I would never in my life be able to make 155 in 2 weeks. So. I was always like, trying to get, as long as I get enough time, I can do it. But and this, the way the situation is right now, short notice fights are a big thing to get into right now. And so I can easily make 170 in 2 weeks, walking around at like 190, but I could never make 155 in 2 weeks.
What is your weight right now today?
I woke up at 180.
Okay. So that last 10 pounds will be a piece of cake here in this last week.
Oh yeah, because I've been waking up at like 79, 80 the last couple of days. So that's right where I wanted to be. Because 9 pounds, 8 pounds is nothing to cut. 10 pounds, that's nothing to cut.
So to get back what you were saying earlier about the restrictions at Jackson Wink, tell me what have been some of the modifications and things that you guys have had to do to make sure you're training safely at the gym.
Yeah, they have restrictions on about how we're not really supposed to be sparring and things like that, and social distancing, and not supposed to have big classes. So I've been just doing like little classes with Greg and Wink, and then we'll like have like one other person in there, just trying to keep it limited to who we are around, just so we don't get in trouble and things like that.
How is Holly looking leading up to her fight?
Holly's looking great. She's looking really good. She's feeling good. We've been pushing it. We've been pushing each other really hard. So I'm really very excited for her for her fight.
What do you think the end result will be? How's she going to get her hand raised?
I'm hoping she gets another KO. She likes to go out there and finish fights. And she's feeling really strong. So I'm excited for her.
Of course, I got to ask you about your boy Johnny Bones. He's been in the news lately talking about fighter pay and really not getting enough, and I do agree with him that you guys should be getting a lot more here, and hopefully that will change here moving forward. I know Masvidal just got what he wanted in that main event fight against Usman. Tell me, what has he been up to lately? I know he's been very active in the community right now with everything going on in the world. Can you give us a little update on him?
Yeah, he's been doing a lot. He started this care project that he's doing. So they've been going around the community, cleaning up stuff, cleaning up graffiti, helping out people, feeding people, and just all types of stuff in the community. So he's been doing a really good job doing that, and he still works out every day, training every day. So it's good to see him, getting involved and taking initiative in the community.
How do you feel he will translate to heavyweight when he ultimately comes back? A lot of people are excited to see him match up against the top 2 or 3 guys at heavyweight. I mean, he's a monster anyways. He walks around at what, 245, 250, and he's 6'4". So do you feel like he's going to continue that that string of, you know, fortune and good luck and dominant wins here moving forward?
Yeah, just you know, you saw what he did to Cormier, so we know he can compete with those heavyweights, and he's so smart. Just his skill set, and he's so long, so he's gonna be able to keep people away. They're gonna be having to, you know, try to wrestle him and do other things. So he's gonna be able to use his wrestling because he's gonna out wrestle these heavyweights. He's way more skilled than all of them, so I don't see him having any problems going up there. It's just he wants to get paid accordingly.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the all-time GOATs. There's no doubt about that. Anyone who wants to argue that clearly isn't being objective. Tell me, as far as, you know, what's going on in Albuquerque with the pandemic, you know, with the BLM movement and everything that's going on there, what is the feel like down there? I've never been to Albuquerque. Is it still a little, I guess, difficult to go out and be around there, or is it starting to calm down a little bit?
No, things never really got too crazy. Like Albuquerque is crazy by itself without all that other stuff going on. So things didn't really escalate too much out here. You know, we don't have that big of a black population either, so it wasn't too much craziness going on. They had a lot of protests out here, though. A lot of people were marching for it in solidarity, but things didn't get too crazy at all. I think like one time, like when it first happened, I know John went viral because he was taking spray cans from kids or something like that. I think that was like the biggest issues that they had, that there was a little bit damage done downtown. But other than that, protests have been pretty peaceful and haven't been too damaging to the city.
Overall, what is your, I guess, opinion or your take on that? I know it's got to hit very close to you. I mean, you're an African American yourself. Like, what is your overall takeaway from what's going on in our country right now?
Yeah, it's good that things are getting attention. You know, we've been dealing with this type of stuff forever. People like to show a blind eye to things, but now that cameras are out, everything is a lot more visual. You know, I've had the cops called on me for walking down the street, you know, countless times, like just simple stuff like that, you know, just to get harassed for no reason. It's just good to see that people are taking a stand, and you can see that it's not just black people; it's every race is out there protesting for it and helping the cause. And everybody wants to group in looters and everything else with the protest, but you know, there's always going to be people trying to take advantage of any type of situation. So people just have to be cognizant of that and not try to group everybody. Just how they say not all bad cops are bad just because a couple did something crazy. So it's the same thing across the board. You know, people just want to be respected and live equally. And this country is built on racism. So anybody who tries to say that has not been paying attention to history.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I know you're a big team sports fan, just like myself. What do you feel like is going to happen here in the remainder of 2020? I'll tell you this right now: if there's no football season, I feel really bad for my fiance, because I'm going to be the most agitated, crotchety man on the planet. I just can't fathom not having football. So
I feel you. I'm on the same page. I'm like, I don't know. We got to figure something out because we need football. We need sports, and especially with athletes. Like athletes, we're not the ones at risk. You can't show me one healthy athlete that has died from this. You know, people like Von Miller have caught it. So athletes, I think, especially football players, as long as like they do kind of like, we should try to do something like NBA is doing, like a bubble. You know, just keep football players like quarantined, like they could only go home and go to the practice facility. Like we got to figure something else because we need football, especially in this time.
Yeah.
People like that's a good thing about UFC is the only sport going on right now. So we got to do something similar like the UFC. I know it's a lot more people to deal with, but it's definitely possible.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, you are a Patriots fan just like myself. How do you like the signing of Cam Newton, and how upset are you now that Brady has moved down to Florida?
Man, people have been mad at me because I said, man, I'm riding with Brady. We the Tampa boys now, but but I'm just messing with everybody. But yeah, I'm just like, man, Tom Brady leaving, like he's the reason I was a Patriots fan. So it's been a hard pill to swallow. And with Cam going, it's just about him staying healthy. Because if he can stay healthy, he's gonna ball out. But that's just the only concern with him is just trying to keep him healthy. And I'm concerned about that receiving core too. Like that was the reason Brady was struggling last year. They didn't give him no help. So I'm just hoping that they don't leave Cam out to dry.
What do you think the best possible scenario is for the Patriots this upcoming season? What's the furthest they can go if Cam stays healthy and they have a whole healthy squad offensively and defensively?
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to the playoffs. As long as Cam can stay healthy, they're definitely a playoff team, regardless. And they have one of the top defenses in the league. So I think that'll continue. And he's a little bit more mobile. Was a lot more mobile than Brady. So they're going to be able to open up the playbook a little bit. So I just hope that they can just figure out a good game plan to keep Cam healthy and upright, and then they'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right, and I do hope that we make the playoffs. It's definitely the dawn of a new era for us fans. But we'll see what happens moving forward. No one feels bad for us. I'll tell you that, Chris.
Oh no.
No one feels bad for us Patriots fans.
Because I told you my friends got mad at me because they're like, so what's up, Breezy? What you doing? Like Tom's is gone, so what you gonna do? I was like, man, we them Tampa boys now, and everybody gave me so much shit. I was like, they're like, nah, you can't go to Tampa. I was like, I can't roll with Brady. I just was not happy how I felt real bad the way they did Brady, like to go out like that. Just didn't make no sense to me because he's got a lot. I think he's got a lot left in the tank still.
I agree, and the Patriots are my team, no doubt about it, but I will secretly be rooting for Tampa Bay as long as they're not playing my Patriots. Now,
right.
I have to ask you, Chris, you've been one of those guys on the radar. Anytime you see an MMA publication or outlet that does a story on fighters that are right on the cusp of maybe getting a signing to the UFC or Contender Series, you're a name that is mentioned. Do you feel most recently this loss to Carrington maybe stunted your ability to get right in there coming up soon? Do you think you have to string together a couple of wins before you get that shot, or do you think you're still right there?
No, I'm still right there. Especially like Coach Wink has talked to Sean Shelby and things like that, and we've already been in contact with everybody. I'm still right where I need to be. Especially like the fight, even though it was lost, I didn't get beat up or anything. Didn't even take any damage. So they just write it off as as a weight issue. So as long as I can come back and get a good win, I'm right where I need to be.
So who will be making the trip with you to South Dakota for LFA 85?
Me and Wink. Me and Wink are going to go out there. He made sure he wanted to come with me. So that's me and Papa Wink going to go down there.
Just allowed one coach, or
yeah, they're just allowing one coach. So just me and Wink are going to roll out.
What will the restrictions be like? Have they said anything about quarantining, how many tests you're going to have to take and all that?
I know they're going to, I guess we're supposed to be quarantining in the hotel, basically like a bubble situation. But they have us flying in Wednesday to take the COVID test. And I think we only have to take one test. So we just get there, go to the hotel and everything, take the test. Thursday is going to be the weigh-ins and all of the little fighter stuff that we got to do and media stuff. And then Friday we fight. And then Saturday they send us home.
So you've been at this for a minute now. You're a veteran. I can't imagine too many things would really bother you. But do you think it will affect you in some way, good or bad, to fight in front of no fans?
I think it'll be easier. Just like you don't have that pressure of people being right there. People are staring, watching from home, but kind of feels like more of a gym atmosphere, if anything.
So with this new opponent now, I got to imagine maybe you envisioned how you were going to get the win before. How does it different now? How are you going to get your hand raised? Does it matter, or is it just going to go with the same game?
Same thing. Nothing really is going to change my game plan. What my style of fighting, I don't really have to adjust too much to anyone. I know because of the results of the last fight, people thinking I can't wrestle, so I was looking forward to fighting the wrestler originally, so I could show that that was just a weight cutting issue, and my body just like being dead. Because people who know me know that I can wrestle. I was a state champ wrestler in high school, and I've never had no one do me like that. So this, but I was planning to strike, mix up my wrestling, so I don't plan on changing anything. And this is just even easier because he's going to want to stand and strike with me, and I know he's not the type of striker that I am. So it's definitely in my favor.
Do you envision a knockout or a sub win, or do you think this could go to a decision?
I'm expecting a KO or a TKO.
Okay, good enough. Well, I'm really excited to see what happens here moving forward for you. Obviously at welterweight, and no more of those nasty cuts down to 55. Happy that you do have an opponent, and they were able to find a replacement fighter. Always a pleasure talking to you, Chris. So before I do let you go, if there's anyone you'd like to thank or any social media you would like to plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody at the gym, all my coaches, Wink, Greg, Joey, everybody that I spend time with, all my teammates. We got a lot of guys doing good things, a lot of guys getting ready for fights as well. And shout out to Sarah Sport, great sponsor, keeping us healthy and hydrated. And, everybody just follow me on social media, Chris Breezy MMA, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I'm on all of that. Chris Breezy MMA.